I'm a top-notch escape artist. I only glanced at the milk carton in my hand. The escape plan hit me immediately. I first crushed it flat, then unfolded the entire carton. I scooped out the wax layer with a spoon. While the guard wasn't looking, I pressed the wax onto the keypad. Every time they pressed a button, fingerprints revealed the 4 code keys. Next up, testing the code. But touching the lock wasn't easy. The prison had layers of security, but it couldn't stop me. I rolled up toilet paper into a ball, coated it in toothpaste. Then I wrapped it in a wet wipe, creating a sticky, solid paper ball. When the guard unlocked my handcuffs for meals, I quietly slipped it into the small window lock. Even with the guard locking the small window, I could push it open in an instant, then easily reach the keypad. But escaping required more than that. First, I had to study the guards' routines to find gaps. Second, someone outside had to be ready to help. Even though the prison seemed heavily guarded, but it had a fatal flaw. The solitary cells were right next to an unguarded fire station. I deliberately got into a fight and landed in solitary. Inside, I noticed only 2 guards, and they had a smoking habit. That gave me 7 minutes. I passed the timing to my hacker friend. Everything set. I opened the keypad. I hacked into the surveillance system and made it look like I was still in my cell. I crawled through the vents into the fire station and slipped into a firefighter uniform. My team triggered an explosion in the lot. The fire crew rushed out and I hid under a truck. The guards were too busy to notice me. I escaped right under their eyes. I wasn't a criminal. I was a federal prison security tester. That day, intelligence asked me to test a private prison. I wanted to refuse because private prisons were insanely dangerous and I could die inside. But my boss said they were offering triple pay. In the end, I still agreed. My team set me up with a new identity and escape codes and secretly injected a micro tracker into my hand. But they were ready. The moment I got in the car, a full scan found it. They removed it and sedatives knocked me out. I woke up in a transparent glass cell, 360-degree cameras watching every angle. Even bathroom trips were monitored. Even more extreme, the cells were suspended in the air. Traditional digging methods wouldn't work at all. The guards here were several times the number in a normal prison. This wasn't the plan at all. I went straight to the warden, gave the exit code.
Wait! My evacuation code is 310275.
Evacuation code?
Yes, evacuation code.
But the warden simply ignored me. He laughed at me, saying I was dreaming. As a newcomer, I faced thugs quickly. Luckily, a man showed up and scared them off. The man's name was Jack. Jack extended his hand to shake mine. I knew nobody here was friendly. I didn't say much until trust was earned, but Jack was curious about me. He kept a close eye on my every move. I refused help at first, but I quickly realized this prison was far more secure than any I'd ever seen. I couldn't handle it alone. Finally, I asked Jack for help.
What do you need?
I need to get into the isolation area.
Okay.
Good.
That's a favor?
We instantly wrestled, the guards rushed in, and I managed to get into the isolation cell. I looked around the room. Suddenly a blinding light hit me, and this device is still heating up continuously. After a few moments, I couldn't stand it anymore, but I endured the pain and started feeling around on the floor, and sure enough, I found a weak spot. Jack was curious about my past. I told him if he wanted to know, bring a smooth, round metal piece.
If you give me that piece of metal, I might be able to get you out of here.
Soon, Jack got taken to the warden. When asked, he said nothing. The warden knew he was playing him. He had his men teach him a lesson. After enduring brutal torture, Jack suddenly crawled under the table and casually took the manhole cover. It was exactly the smooth, round metal I needed. After observing, I realized the prison was built vertically, and I could hear the sound of running water below. It was likely constructed over some underground crevice or cavern beneath the isolation cell, since there was water. The rivets should have been made of aluminum to prevent rust, but they used steel instead. On steel rusts, applying heat makes it expand and pop out on its own. That was the weakness. After finalizing the plan, Jack deliberately caused a commotion once again. I took the chance to clutch a piece of bread in my hand. As expected, we were thrown back into the isolation cell. I quickly heated the rivets with the metal piece. Under the light, the rivets quickly popped out on their own. I kept going until all the rivets were removed. I chewed the hidden bread, tapped the floor to signal Jack. He yelled to distract the warden. I blocked the camera with bread, opened the iron panel, and slipped into the vent. The passage was more heavily guarded than expected, and the door wouldn't open at all, so I climbed the ducts. The warden mistakenly thought Jack couldn't withstand the prison torture. He stood there silently, watching him make a fool of himself. I accidentally broke a cable. Water pipe burst, floods poured in. But when I finally climbed up the shaft, I was completely stunned. This prison wasn't in some underground crevice at all. It was on a massive cargo ship. There were guards everywhere around me. Escaping is simply a pipe dream. I had no choice but to turn back. The floodwaters spread quickly. The warden ordered prisoners back. I climbed back to solitary before the guards arrived. I narrowly escaped the danger when the warden came over to inspect. He noticed the rivets. His men thought water pushed them out, but he didn't see it that way, to prevent me from escaping. Every night the guards would tap on the glass, keeping me from sleep. They aimed to crush my body. If I showed the slightest sign of distress, the guards would come over and beat me. After days of this relentless torment, I could barely stand. My team tracked me to a sea prison. I needed the ship's location to escape. I told Jack to deliberately stab me. This way, I could find the doctor to ask around. The doctor was still hesitant, because if he revealed anything, his life would be at risk. To calculate the location of the prison, I secretly used a pen and a pair of glasses. I made a sextant to measure direction. A guard in the surveillance room noticed something was wrong. They saw us plotting. A nearby guard grabbed me. Fortunately, Jack hid the sextant just in time. I was put in solitary. The warden said he was my fan, and this prison was based on my book on security loopholes.
You let me go and I'll pretend this never happened. You don't, and I'll burn this fucking place to the ground on my way out.
Faced with my provocation, the warden grew even more excited. He was very curious which was stronger, the escape artist or his offshore prison. The next day, we bribed the bald guy, pretending he switched sides. To earn the warden's trust, the bald guy prayed often, so he used this as an excuse to gain a privilege, to go up on the deck and pray to the sky. This let him use the sextant to measure direction. Based on the data we measured and the direction of the toilet's flush, I realized that the ship is located in the northern hemisphere. It's November now, the sea is calm, and there's warm air, so most likely the ship is off the coast of Morocco. I knew the general location, but one more thing, back up outside. Getting the message out was tricky. I revealed my identity to the doctor, asking him to pass the rescue info. After thinking, he agreed. Once everything was set, I deliberately tapped the glass lightly with a pen. I sent a false message to the warden, Morse code signaling a riot in C Block. The warden fell for it. He immediately sent troops to Block C, with fewer guards in Block B. I seized the opportunity to move. The riot started. Prisoners clashed with guards. The warden realized he was fooled. The three of us started our escape, but we had only 11 minutes. To cover our tracks, I decisively cut off the cameras. The warden remained completely calm and ordered all areas to be locked down. As we climbed the ladder, I found out that the manhole cover was secured with an electronic lock. It couldn't be opened at all. We had to retreat, but the door here had already been shut. At that moment, a large number of prison guards came chasing after us. A firefight broke out between us instantly. The bald guy was hit. We retreated to find another way. I stormed the engine room, knocked out staff, cut power, giving Jack 5 seconds to escape. That's when the rescue team arrived. Deck guards neutralized. More guards rushed from below. Jack went berserk like Iron Man, unleashing a storm of gunfire. I quickly hid in the water tank. It's the only escape route. The warden screamed helplessly. When the power is restored, a large volume of water rushed into the water tank. By the time the warden realized it was too late, I was successfully washed out by the water pressure. A helicopter came to pick me up. The warden realized something was wrong. He immediately chased after me and started firing wildly at me, with me about to be shot down. I acted quickly and shot at the nearby gasoline barrel.
Boom.